And it's been about 4 months since Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari presented the country's national budget to lawmakers in parliament. The Nigerian government has said it was returning to the January to December budget cycle, but so far the budget has not been approved by parliament. Now, Nigeria's 2017 budget was never passed until about 6 months into the year, and it's now looking like the 2018 budget may suffer the same fate. Well, CGTN's Deji Badmus spoke to the country's Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo.
I believe that the executive had done its part by ensuring that the budget proposals were presented to Senate, to the National Assembly, as we planned in October of 2017. But what you find, of course, as you probably know, is that the Senate and the National Assembly tend to spend a bit of time on scrutinizing the budget and all of that. And unfortunately, that seems to be dragging, seems to be taking a while.
What are you doing to ensure that the legislature speeds work on the budget so that because Nigerians are actually waiting?
The best you can do, I mean, don't forget that this is almost entirely in the hands of the National Assembly now. The best we can do is to exhort and to meet whenever we're invited, whenever members of the executive are invited to, speak to the budget, make presentations and all of that. And also to engage with senior members of the National Assembly to try and see how we can resolve whatever log jams or whatever difficulties there are. So there is, a fair amount of effort going in that direction. But I suppose that one of the critical things is that we made the effort, and especially the executive, we made the effort of ensuring that we delivered the budget, the proposals in good time. But we haven't, I suppose, it's been a bit more difficult for the National Assembly to deliver on its own part of the deal.
Let's talk about the GDP figures released by the National Bureau of Statistics the other day. I mean, of course, you've had 3 consecutive sessions of growth now, but you dissect the figure further. It would appear that oil is still the engine room of this economy, despite the effort that your government is making now in terms of diversification of the economy. When exactly are we going to see when are we going to begin to see the non-oil sector now take center stage?
I think we're already beginning to see it, and as you can imagine, I mean, the easiest source of revenue today is oil, but oil is not a major contributor to GDP, but oil drives the non-oil sector also, because it's a major source of revenue. But what you're seeing also from the GDP is that you're seeing a greater contribution of agriculture, much greater contribution. In fact, it is 0.82%. You see that agriculture is making a much more significant contribution. Mining is also making a much more significant contribution. Now, in relative terms, you will find that will grow as we push along with our policies on agriculture, our policies on mining and manufacturing and all that. And many of what we're trying to do is exactly to present that diversification.